friends. This is James and Cara, and we are Cara Cruising.
We are taking you on a journey, traveling the country with our dogs and finding remote places where the dogs
and us
can roam free and play while we discuss life's growths, beauty, and some struggles along the way.
We recommend pairing our episodes with our blog at carawexcruising.com, where we organize accurate information in an easy-to-follow format, removing all of the conversational goodies.
The link for this episode's blog post is in the show notes.
We encourage you to join the conversation by commenting where you listen, engaging with us on Facebook or Instagram at carawexcruising, or email us at join@carawexcruising.com.
In the meantime, thanks for tuning in. Sit back and enjoy the journey.
Good morning.
Hi, James and Cara from Cara Cruising. Today we are going to talk about our planning and really our first couple days leaving Sandpoint, Idaho.
We are on the road. We are actually right now, as we're recording this, driving to Glacier National Park. So we figure we should go ahead and give you guys an update to everything up until this point. First of all, of course, big road trip like this, once more, if you haven't been following our episodes in order, we are leaving Sandpoint, Idaho, and we are making our way back home to the south rim of the Grand Canyon National Park, or that area. And we're taking a big, long, wide road trip. We're going to take close to 3 weeks to do the trip. We are, like I said, on our way to Glacier right now, so we've stayed a couple of nights near Glacier. And a big road trip like this, you know, Glacier, Yellowstone, Grand Tetons, Bryce, Zion, North Rim, and then back to the South Rim. There's a lot of planning involved because we primarily like to do dispersed camping, where we are camping in the woods without any amenities, hopefully for free, if we can make that happen, or very inexpensively. And it's really hard to find those spots. It's not like a free campsite has a website, you know, they're telling you exactly where it's at and how accessible it is and how busy it is. So James does a lot of research, digging down deep to find these really, really magical spots. So can I tell you a little bit about it?
And it's really, you can probably find dispersed camping websites, but the real thing that you got to do is we're looking for one that's remote, that our dogs can run free. And that's the hard part. So I'm looking at Campendium, I'm looking at Gaia GPS, Maps, Google Maps, and I'm really going on even like Reddit, and you're reading blogs about places that people have stayed. And this particular spot I did find on Reddit, and it's been a great spot. All the spots really that we find is usually good, but the spot we're going to stay near Glacier, and if you're ever visiting Glacier National Park, this is a great area to stay. I did find it on Reddit, and it does take a lot of planning. I'm spending days looking at stuff, and I'm looking at the satellite to see really what's around it, because I've gone to places and I'm thinking it's pretty good, but then it's like a gate across the road as soon as we get there. So that's happened to us, and that does happen. These roads close. The road we're on, it closes in the winter. It's till November 1st. So I did that planning.
How many hours would you guesstimate that you spent doing research and digging in and reading?
It's like, probably...
Because you're not doing it all in one setting.
After
you're like,
I get out of work, or
when
Cara's at work.
When most people would be scrolling through social media, James is researching where we're camping.
Yeah, so you're talking an hour or two a night, but probably the last 2 weeks we were in Idaho every night, or anytime Cara was working and I was by myself. Or I didn't have the baby. I was figuring out kind of where we wanted to stay. Like the first week, it's important to know where you're staying. But then when we get down close to the Yellowstone and Grand Tetons, I'll look again on where we're going to stay right there. I have a good idea, and I have national forest that I know I can stay in, but I haven't pinpoint that exact campsite. The weather could change.
The weather is the big thing. I mean, we're traveling right now. It's the end of September. They've already had snow up here in Glacier, and in the Yellowstone area, they just closed Beartooth Pass, which is in Wyoming.
They did close the road to the sun in Glacier.
Yeah, and they've cleared it and reopened it, so we're going to be able to enjoy that today. But the weather, it's the time of the year where the snow's starting to come in. You have to be flexible, and so we don't have any solid plans, obviously, but we'll get there.
So that's just a part of the planning, right? I plan where we're going to stay. I mean, I figure out how many miles it is, how much gas, all that stupid stuff, just to make sure that we're remembering to get gas.
Mm-hmm.
So any big city I go to, I make sure I fill the truck up with gas.
Mm-hmm.
And we carry like 2 gallons of gas in a gas can.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case. But the other part of the planning is the food preparation. And I'm going to talk my part about it. I really don't do much of it. Cara does the shopping and she'll talk about that. But getting the coolers ready using block ice instead of cubed ice,
Mm-hmm.
it stays so much longer. Having coolers that are insulated, even if they're the cheaper ones, it keeps the ice 3-4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing with the meat is keeping the meat frozen before you leave. We have 7-8 days worth of food, so we needed some of it to be frozen, and then it thaws naturally as we're
Mm-hmm.
we're in and out of the cooler.
Yeah,
and the cooler's just got ice.
The stuff you want to eat later in your trip, you have closer to the ice. The things that you want to eat sooner in your trip, you have further away from the ice.
And vegetables, you want to almost have a towel or something separating
so
the
they don't
ice
wilt.
from vegetables, but we eat mostly fresh vegetables, so that is a super challenge. Cara has developed ways to keep the celery last longer, the carrots last longer,
Mm-hmm.
and all that, and she'll talk about that. But my preparation is the coolers and getting that. I keep all the meat in one cooler, all the vegetables in another cooler, and condiments in that same cooler, and then all the milk and drinks are in a separate cooler. So we have 3 coolers,
Mm-hmm.
which is a lot, but we're working out of a utility trailer, not a camper.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise it would be a full refrigerator, a full
Yeah.
camper refrigerator, maybe a cooler
And a
on the
cooler
side
on the
for
side.
the canned beverages. I took advantage of Labor Day sales really to stock up for the trip to make it as inexpensive as possible. Like James says, we eat mostly meat and vegetables, and meat gets really expensive. So I took it. I mean, Labor Day sales. I mean, they had things like ribeye steaks for $4.97 a pound and things like that. So I stocked up and froze the stuff in advance. If I bought value pack, I divide it up and put it in Ziploc bags and freeze it. And then same thing for snack. We buy the health food alternatives for snacks, and they're 2-3 times the price of your normal conventional snacks. So you have to buy those on sales for it to be affordable. And when you're doing a road trip, you want snacks. You want it to be enjoyable. You want it to be an affordable adventure, but you don't want to feel like you're on a budget. So you want all the snacks. You want all the things that make you happy and make you feel like you're treating yourself and that you're on vacation. We literally have one of those like 27-gallon totes full of just snacks. Like, it's just bags of sweet potato chips and the whatever stuffed pretzels and just all kinds of deliciousness. So that's a big thing. And then same thing for like the sparkling waters. During the holiday weekends they had a lot of that. But if you're going on a trip in 2 months, you just, every time you see something on sale that you're going to want to take on that trip, just stock up on it a little bit and stow it aside. And froze, like he said, the meat. For produce, I like to wrap lettuce in paper towels. Same thing with the carrots. It stops it from getting soggy.
Pulls the moisture out of them things.
Yeah, and then you just change out the paper towels as you need to. Celery, he mentioned celery. I wrap it in aluminum foil. It just helps it keep a little bit longer because it's able to let go of its gases without absorbing other gases. So those are just simple things. But like he said, the biggest thing is make sure there's a little bit of a cushion between the vegetables and the ice. That'll make them spoil really quickly.
And vegetables, ice is 32 degrees.
Yeah.
Vegetables really only need 40 degree,
Yeah.
and they're fine. They're actually better at 40 degrees than they are colder. So that's planning in it. Maybe it didn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. When you're planning, it's a lot. And the execution, getting the coolers ready, all that takes time.
When you're buying the food, you want to make sure that you have multiple options. We'll talk about it here in a minute, but we ended up changing our plans at the last second, and we're traveling late, so we needed a quick meal, and we just ended up eating some prosciutto with goat's cheese and crackers as our dinner one night. You would need to have options not only to cook, but also for that, and in flexibility, if the weather's shitty where you're going, so you decide to stay where you're at a little bit longer, now you're not going to hit a grocery store, so you need a couple of extra days worth of food as well, just in case your plans get changed. So you want quick food, and then you want your full-on cooking food, a little bit of extra, just in case you do.
And it could be
change your
raining
plans.
and you don't want to get out and cook.
Yeah,
so
that
there's
too.
There's a lot of
Exactly,
things that could happen. And we
exactly.
do have tarps, but there's a lot of things that can happen. So that's the planning part of it. So then we were thinking we were going to be on the road. We hadn't had too much baby time, sporadically.
We mentioned in previous episodes that Mom and Dad were hogging the baby. Grandma and Grandpa were not getting enough time.
We thought we'd be babysitting a lot for them, but brand new baby, they want to be around the baby, which is totally acceptable. So we didn't get much.
And on the other side of it, I'm sure they didn't want to lean on us too much, knowing that we were going to be leaving and they were going to be all on their own eventually.
But the last week we were there, we got a lot of baby time. So the day that
and it's never planned. They're just here. Do you want to have the baby? So it's just like, okay, I'm not doing anything else now.
So we had the first day we're going to leave. I wanted to leave by really 1. Cara said it'd be fine, leave at 2. So we're like, all right. I'm like, 2's probably fine. So we have the baby in the morning that derailed us, and we're really trying to get out of there. So we're taking turns with the baby. I got the baby. She's doing stuff. She has the baby. I'm doing stuff. So anyways, now we're ready to leave. We think we're ready to leave.
We make breakfast before
we all eat together, and we're going to leave, and then, boom, Deidre pulls out.
The Catan
card.
I
think we can play one more game of Catan.
If you know us personally, you know how much we love Catan. We have been trying to infect all of our friends with this game. We think it's addicting. We absolutely love it. Can't find enough people who want to play it with us. The Stewarts are the only ones I think we've really gotten hooked. Maybe Tim and Kendra. But it's our favorite game, by far. And you need at least 3 people to play. So James and I can't really play on our own. We've got an app on our phone where we play with the AI and we just kick its ass. It's not even fun. So Deidre pulling out the Catan card, it caused us to stay, it was close to an extra hour and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was, we didn't leave till 3:30.
But it was perfect because it was hard to say goodbye.
But we had a 2.5-hour drive to our camp spot that we thought we knew we were going to.
Yeah. So we took the Highway 95 from Sandpoint towards Bonner's Ferry, and then we headed east on the Highway 2, and that our campsite was off the 2. Along the road, I set the GPS. I didn't really look at it very long. I typed in what I wanted and then hit go, and the GPS took us to Logan State Park in Montana. We were looking for Thompson Chain of Lake State Park, which is literally like a mile east of where the GPS took us. So we get into Logan State Park, and it's your typical campground. It's like, city camping. Everybody's next to each other. They're just all along the lake. Fire pits and picnic tables, and it was beautiful. If that's your cup of tea, it's a great spot to go. I highly recommend
boat ramp.
it. Yeah, I think it was $20 a night. They had a dump station, all that jazz, dumpsters. So if you like that type of camping, Logan State Park, it's right on the chain of lakes in Montana along the Highway 2. Beautiful, beautiful spot, but that's not our type of camping. We don't want anybody around. We do not camp to hang out with other people. We camp to be alone in nature and let our dogs roam and run free. So that was not working for us. So we come out of Logan State Park and continue heading east, like we're just going to find a Forest Service road. While we're trying to decide what we're going to do, it kind of simultaneously happened. Google rerouted us, trying to tell us to get back to Logan State Park, but it was rerouting us down a Forest Service road. So James is like, we should just go down this Forest Service road and see if we can find just a spot to camp for the night. Meantime, on our right hand side, I see some signage for what looks like a campground. We're like, that might be it. So we, instead of driving around in circles, we decide to go down, because we're on a highway, so it's quick decisions, we don't have time to discuss. We decide to go down the Forest Service road. We know we're definitely going to find camping sooner. It's getting dark at this point. We need to just set up, let the dogs run around. Everybody needs to go to the bathroom. We need to get some food on us and go to sleep. So we go down this Forest Service road. It was a big loop, so it was going to come back out onto the Highway 2. It didn't look like you were really allowed to camp out there. There was no, usually there's a flat, already disturbed area with fire pits set up. There was none of this. So we just kind of pulled in on a T on a road that looked like it wasn't traveled very much, like a little 2-track road for like 4-wheelers or whatever. We backed in there and just slept in the truck. We, tried not to disturb anything. We just needed to get some sleep. And then in the morning, we saw side-by-sides driving down the road, hunters. It is hunting season in the area, so that's pretty much what it seems like that area is used for, side-by-side hunting and all that jazz.
We didn't set up a big camp. We really pulled in. We had it good enough to sleep, and in the morning we had it good enough to heat up water for coffee.
Yeah, we had our little rocket stove. And
then we jetted out of there, really.
Yeah, I don't even think we were there for 12 hours. Like, we got there late, left early.
That is a wonderful spot. Actually, the whole
we'll
highway.
pin it for you guys. It's a really great area. It's
the
beautiful.
whole Highway 2 is a great spot.
As you're driving down that road, yeah.
To drive just a scenic. If you're leaving Glacier and you're going to California, I wouldn't even go through Missoula and get on the 90. I would take the 2. That's just a beautiful views. So it's a great spot. But the lakes were plentiful there, the chain of lakes.
Yeah.
So all that was super cool.
And that right-hand turn that we hesitated and decided to go into the Forest Service Road instead, it was that campground. And there was nobody there. We would have had the place all to ourselves. It is, what did we say, $20 a night to camp?
I'm gonna, because Cara misspoke. On the other site, it was $38 a night. And the spot that she found, we thought it was $8. It's $8 if you're a Montana resident, but it's $20 if you're a non-resident. So it would have cost us $20 a night to stay there.
And they had vault toilets.
Yeah, they were great,
pits.
Right on the water.
Yeah,
and they had 86 sites, and we didn't see one site occupied.
Yeah.
So it was, the other place was more set up for RVs, had dump, it had water, it had all them amenities. Yeah. This one just had the vault toilet, that's it, and fire pit.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, they have campsites on either side of multiple lakes, so you would have had, even if you come in the summertime, I imagine you can get yourself some elbow room. That's Thompson Chain of Lakes State Park. We'll go ahead and pin that on our blog so you can find it if you're interested in it. Because again, I don't think the direct surrounding forest is camp friendly. But along the road, if you don't want to camp on a lake or it is busier, there was tons of spots where you were seeing national forest camping and where you could turn off on a myriad of roads.
Yeah, they had the little brown sign
all
with
over the
campsite
place. Yeah.
sign.
So
there was a lot of...
Yeah, there's plenty of camping along the route too. We just like to let the dogs go swimming, so we try to find lakes, and we're from Arizona. We don't get to see water very often, so we try to get as much of that as we can.
We were originally planning to stay at that spot for a couple of nights.
Yeah.
And we switched up our plans because I knew the spot that was near Glacier was not only free, but I was pretty sure from reading Reddit that we were going to find nobody there. Just that because it was the right time of year. We're hitting it at a perfect time. We were just on the Fire Service Road. We stayed overnight. Get up, get a camp spot, but now we're only going to stay there for one night, and I would rather just set up camp and set up camp.
Yeah, relax.
So we were only really 2 hours away from the camp spot that we had found near Glacier. Glacier's 5 hours from my son's house, basically. So we opted just to stay trucking, and so we only stayed the one night on the Forest Road, and we came to Hungry Horse, and again, beautiful ride. But we came to Hungry Horse Reservoir, Hungry Horse Dam, and the town is called Hungry Horse. Pretty cool. The dam itself is super cool.
It's super cool.
So we'll pin that, and we'll even have some pictures of the dam. They do tours, and they got a visitor center. Just a pretty cool spot. And today, it's a lot of people here. We're driving past the dam
through right now.
And there's a bunch of RVs pulled off to the side and stuff, so that's super cool. We came out here. The camp spot is called
Lakeview
Campground. It has a vault toilet. It actually has a picnic table and a fire pit. There's 5 sites, and we were smart because we got there early, right? We left in the morning.
That's the big tip on these established dispersed camping spots. Gotta get there early.
We were the first ones there on Sunday morning. Nobody's there. We pull in. It's like 2 o'clock, 1:30. We get to check out all 5 sites. We find, if you go to Lakeview Campground, site number 5 is far the best and biggest. So we took number 5 and set up camp, and we set up camp all the way. Shower, screen house, grill, propane grill. We moved in. It's a great setup.
And we spent yesterday, which was delightful, just enjoying the spot. It is fucking incredible, man. It is.
This spot is breathtaking.
Oh my God.
So let the dogs run free. They have a reservoir they can go swimming in. You walk to the reservoir down your personal trail on your campsite right to the edge of the water.
Then you
Unbelievable.
walk the beach.
And you see Glacier Mountain region.
Yeah, and it just, I mean, this reservoir, which is a giant lake, looking at it on the map, this thing is gigantic. We didn't even drive halfway down the length of this lake, and it took us an hour with the trailer to drive out there, or pretty close to
47 minutes to go 26 miles.
So it's a huge lake or reservoir, and it's wide, and so The
crystal
mountains,
clear.
yeah, crystal clear. The mountains are towering over the thing. It just is breathtakingly beautiful. So one of the things that we like to do, talked about it a few times, but I like to make it clear for new listeners. We like to go find places that are remote where we can let the dogs run and play that are close to these beautiful areas. Like we're going today to go check out Glacier. I've never seen Glacier before. We're going to go see it. Maybe we'll do a short hike, but it's hard in the national park to take your dogs to do things. You know, you got, of course, to have them leashed up, and, you know, depending on how your dog behaves, that can be really overwhelming or worrisome.
Our dogs do not behave ever.
Norman likes to bark at everybody. Bella wants to bark for Pat, and they like to tug. They're not very well leash trained. Well, we keep talking about that. We need to get leash trained, and they need to get leash trained. We're all just wild and crazy over here. But the national park isn't the only thing that's beautiful about these areas. I love where we're staying. Not only do we have the place all to ourselves, but it's breathtakingly beautiful. The sunset last night over the lake was gorgeous.
The night sky at 12:40 in the morning taking a pee, beautiful.
And you miss all of that. Like, everybody's so focused on Glacier, and they're so focused on the national park, and they're hanging out with the crowds, and they're grumpy that it was busy. Get away from the national. Go see the national park, because you want to check it off your list. You want to say that you've been there. You want to witness it. You want to experience it yourself. But there's gorgeous places all around these national parks where you can get off the beaten path and have the space all to yourself and just truly immerse yourself in it. It's a beautiful, wonderful experience, and that's our goal, is we want to bring those places to you. Yes, go to the Grand Canyon, but also go check out these beautiful areas around the Grand Canyon that are off the beaten path, Yellowstone. And that's what our goal is. We want to bring to you guys all of these beautiful, stunning places at destinations, but where you can get away from the crowds and go soak it in with you and your puppies and really just be yourself.
So the spot we found is absolutely incredible. We're tracking our loop today, so we're going to have that on our website. Mm-hmm. Please go on the website. These spots will be pinned. The loop that we do today, it'll show you the loop and how long it took us. And, you know, from right at the campsite. We started the track at our campsite. Mm-hmm. And we're going to even GoPro some of this stuff today.
Oh, the foliage right now, you guys, with these mountains and the lakes. This is stupid beautiful. I can't
it's cool. So we're excited for our day in Glacier today. And we have an amazing camp spot. I can't stress it enough. We found some little bit of gold out here in Montana.
You guys stay tuned for updates. We love you. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Cara Cruising.
We're thrilled to have you with us.
We had a blast recording this episode and hope you enjoyed our adventures as much as we enjoyed sharing them.
For more amazing pictures and stories, visit our website and blog at caroxcruising.com.
And join the conversation on Facebook at Cara Cruising, or email us at join@caroxcruising.com.
We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions.
If you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving us a review.
Your support helps us reach more listeners and allows us to continue sharing our travel experiences with you.
It's a generous favor that means the world to us.
Thank you so much for listening to Cara Cruising.
Until next time, happy travels.